Being a man in 2026 has never been more real. It's never felt more difficult. The situation seems to be one giant trap for you and me. My deep dive tonight here at the Pillars of Man podcast is for you to be given the most definitive answer I can possibly come up with to help you immediately begin living your best life. And I know how impossible that sounds, even with the way that I just said it. So, to begin with, you and I have to first identify the problem. And there really are so many, probably too many problems for me to cover in just one episode. But I want to create a foundational sense of just what's going on with you, me, all of our fellow kings who are looking at present day 2026 American society and wondering to ourselves, do I genuinely want to participate in this? Single, alone king, moved out at least 40 hours a week. I'm getting super airtight with this example. I know this is going to be very general. I'm really working with an average of your most common male life situation. That is already a blessing, because if it's only 40 hours a week, then you're getting your evenings back every single day and you're getting the weekends back. It pains me to say this, but I believe this has become an ideal. For the longest time, it used to be the standard, right? This is just kind of normal. Nowadays, fast forward to right now, it's at least 40 hours. This is the grim truth for many single men. My episode tonight is going to apply most to the younger demographic of males, but of course, this is a message that goes for all men. It's just you're going to realize very quickly as you continue to hear this, the younger you are, the more pertinent, the more applicable all of this becomes for you. So I guess you could say I am directing myself very intentionally at my, the closest to me, my millennial brothers, but then of course, all my Zoomer and Alpha brothers. You are lucky if it's 40. One source of income, stable. That's it, a clean 8 hours Monday through Friday. Because it has become frighteningly common nowadays for it to be 50, 60, 70. 2 jobs, 3 jobs, splitting a 2, 3, 4 bedroom apartment with your mates, with your boys. And that's a perfectly fine setup. Especially if you rocking with some genuinely good dudes. That's actually a heck of a time. That's a phase in life for a man to enjoy, if that's the setup you have. If not, then you might be listening to me right now, thinking to yourself, God, I wish I could get out of here. I wish I could have like my own, fortress of solitude. Okay, shout out to John Goodman, Mark Wahlberg in the movie The Gambler. Your own fortress of solitude, your own, place of peace, solace, right? That is what the home is all about. But for many guys, that's just not the case. So just to be all on your own and moved out and you got, say, a one-bedroom apartment, that's super dope. Um, what you want may be more than that. You probably want to be a homeowner. You probably want a living space that right, that is bigger than your average one-bedroom apartment. I mean, goodness gracious, some of these setups I've seen nowadays, I mean, they're turning into uh, roomy closets, spacious, spacious, dorms is what they're all turning into. And you have that 40 hours a week in one job. That is no longer the normal. And you and I are to call this way of life a blessing. But when you are keeping it real, and we do that here at the Pillars of Man, just to be honest, you are going to be tired, even living that kind of life. And I want to reiterate this one more time. That's on the luckier side. If if you are if oh, God forbid, you do a trade, you're a business owner, you're a contractor, you're a freelancer, brother, it is way more than 40 every single week. But I won't approach that beast just yet. We'll just stay right here in this nice little neat compact example of the average basis. So that's what you're working with. And that's not too shabby. That's a solid 3-4 hours of genuinely free time every single week. This is with your commuting factored in, like all the basic human necessities you need to do every single day, like food and water, sustenance, right? The commute, just bathroom time, just all hygiene, all of it. All of it. You probably got about 4 solid hours, and then you got the weekends. What man alive right now for 2026 America in his right mind is not going to want to use that time to relax? Just chill. You did what you were supposed to do. And that's awesome. The frustration, at least the very beginning of it, is born in this idea that I am doing what I am supposed to do. And yet life is still like this. That this doesn't mean, oh, that's awesome. Evenings are mine, weekends are mine. Okay. 8 hours, Monday through Friday. That's it. Clock in, clock out. That's it. No one else really bothers me because I'm alone and I live on my own. How many men are genuinely enjoying this way of life? That is a question that I don't know about social media. I'm not sure about news coverage. I'm not even sure about, popular culture or society at large. But here at my podcast, this question is of the utmost importance to me. I believe it is on the mind of every single man who is living like this. How rare is it for just a guy to be, you know, overjoyed, fulfilled. He feels purposeful. He's at peace. He's got plenty of meaning in his life. Let's not even go too deep with that. He just wants to continue. He just wants to keep going. I'm so down for tomorrow. It's not even that he has his life perfectly planned out, down to each time slot of every hour in the day. It's just the way that he's living, the depth of his understanding on why he is here, being alive on planet Earth in the US of A. Bless this great nation. In this specific time period of the 21st century, a quarter of a century deep in this one. We got all sorts of crazy things happening. It is a very interesting time to be alive. We have our fair share of problems. That may be a very modest way of putting that. But I mean, it's pretty crazy to realize you and I are living more luxuriously, more lavishly, definitely, more conveniently than any king a few centuries ago, any world leader, anyone at the very tippity top of an entire society, an entire culture, an entire country. It just the difference is absolutely mind blowing. The kind of accessibility that you have, okay, with a tap and a click and a touch. It's really the future is here. Like, what do you want in terms of stimulation for your perceptions, for your basic human senses? Where you were able to see, where you were able to hear, where you were able to taste, where you're able to feel and touch, smell, sure. The five basic senses. Okay. Websites, streaming services, platforms, apps, food delivery services. What do you and I like in this way? What do you and I not have? It's so crazy. I'm going to continue returning to this example because if you get stable income 40 hours a week, that's it. You do not know OT. You don't have to do anything else. And you're good. You don't have to worry about rent. You're not, money is not scarce enough to the point, you're actually stressed about gas and groceries and all that. I know what a dream scenario that's becoming. It's getting real dystopian out here. I know. But let's just say, a man living like this, he can afford these kinds of luxuries. My point is, how amazing is that though? That is pretty incredible. This is a innovation, and this is the this is how far technology has come in this at this point in human history right now. Yet all of that is very external. All of that is outside of you. Brother, I would ask that you look inwards tonight. I would ask that you turn your attention to, as deeply as possible, your mind, your heart, your soul. Using my example, how much does he love living like this? Is everything happening the way that he wants it to be? This is what I mean by rarity. This is what I mean by, I'm not so sure most guys are loving that kind of life. I don't know. Maybe this is just me, okay, being a conspiracy theorist right now. Whenever I think maybe you and I weren't, naturally built to live exactly like this, week in and week out, a little bit of PTO, a little bit of paid vacation annually, and then that's it. That's it. See, this is why the grind is so real. We got Zoomers and Alphas. Alphas kind of just joined the game. How about I pick on the Zoomers for just a few minutes? You guys have been out in the real world for quite a while now. And maybe when you're right out of college, it's all chill. It all feels kind of like, no, this is dope. Yeah, I did it. Mom, dad, I did it. I am independent. I locked down a job. I'm I I can pay for myself and everything that I need and that I want. Okay, I do well at my job, and I don't give my boss any reason to mm, put my employment at risk. And so then I go home and I enjoy whatever I enjoy, my own interests, my own hobbies, and whatnot. And then years go by, and a man could find himself questioning, why is it that even though I'm continuing to live like this, and there's nothing I'm even missing, no, like just to be a man, alive, a human being, just in order to survive, what would he be missing? Okay, in this way, nothing. But you have so many guys grossly unhappy. This is my little conspiracy theory, real quick, straight up, tinfoil hat and everything. Why? Why? What's going on there? What? Why isn't this life sustainable? You got guys, okay, like Zoomers. Oh, it's been years of this now, and I'm looking at the rest of my 30s. I'm looking at the rest of my 40s, 50s, 60s, at least. You know, if it's still 65 by the time we make it there, all right, that's kind of up in the air now, or so I've heard. So no biggie. You're just looking at the next 3-4 decades of your life, most of your life, all of your youth, and it's going to be given to exactly as you've been living, just like that. No more, no less. Nothing changes. Now, now I want to go a little bit deeper with you. Now, that is the rarity. It's just very, very uncommon for a man to look at this big picture, look at this vision of his life, and think to himself, I'm so down for this. Oh my God, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be awesome. Yes, I was born for this. This is exactly how I planned it. Ever since I was a kid, ever since I gained consciousness, ever since I could think, this is what I wanted to do. 40 hours every week. Then I go home and I do my thing. And I do what I always do. No, it seems that we're all realizing collectively. It's like it's just that bro moment, like, okay, wow. I'm not the only one. I've been thinking like this for a pretty long time. Dang, bro, you think like this too? And we're all looking at each other like this right now. Most of us are thinking like this. Okay, you see, bro, I truly believe this. Okay, I would love to hear your input. So you put that down in the comments below. Like, where is my wife? That's probably the biggest one. Yeah, it's nice. It's quiet. It's really quiet actually here in my 1 bedroom apartment. Maybe a little bit too quiet. And I know, that's a whole different episode. That's a whole different uh, dilemma. Let's just put it like that. But I'm not talking about women. not not yet. Not yet. I'm sure they will find a way to invade the conversation very soon. I'm talking about what you really want. I'm talking about a man's instinctual, biological, and primordial desire deep within here that yearns for a woman. That's what I mean by, where is my wife? God dang it. Like, where am I supposed to find this girl? This is crazy. And then that's like the first problem. But then after that, you might, again, God forbid, you want to be a dad. it, dare I say, most men want that experience. I it is my humble opinion though. I don't want to project that on you, but I highly recommend it. And I'll always highly recommend what I believe to be some of the best. In the words of my Zoomer Kings, some of the most peak experiences for a man. That's his progeny. That's his legacy. I would like to say, and maybe this is, I don't know, is this might be a weird way to put it, but it's how I really do feel. Okay. And so, whatever's on my heart is what you get, bro. It's how I do it here on my podcast. These are superior versions of you. I think that's so sick. Like, like really cool. Like that's freaking fire to me. I'm gonna with one woman, right? This one female human being on the entire planet. I love her so much. I'm gonna make another human being with her. So that's like for me, that's already like, oh my God, that's incredible. That's just like that whole process is just, you know what I'm saying? Um, it's very different though for her than for me. You know what I'm saying? I think like for 9 months, right? The wifey is kind of like, come on, like you got to get your head in the game, for 9 months, and then you kind of on the sidelines, what do you need? Like straight up, just like pom poms and everything. Like I got you. Like just tell me what you need for those 9 months, and then after that, it's more of a it kind of equates. It's more of a united effort now. But the goal, I said a superior version of you. So I mean, it's not you, but technically, it's gonna be this kid is gonna be a lot like you. And then the goal is for them to him or her to be better in all possible ways. This is nothing new. I believe I'm speaking on a joy and a blessing that any man across all of human history who has been a father understands. I also believe this is why men who are not yet dads want to be. It's deep. You can deny it, sedate it, ignore it, hate on it. I mean, to each his own in this way. That's a very personal decision. I'm not going to sit here and just act like I could make it for anybody else. It's just, I truly believe that it's in most guys. And if it's not, it's in all men. It's in all guys that just the curiosity of it, the desire of it, that just that deep desire of wanting that in life. It's not, it's beautiful to raise a human being, up into a full grown adult, see everything that they're going to try and do in this world. And then I believe that enters a whole new, tier of experience in life. When your kid makes it farther and further than you do, they were able to push it past where you stopped. That's amazing. That's just family. That's the nuclear family unit. That's what I've been yapping about for this point. That's what that is. Do you believe me, brother? Are you with me on this? Most of us want this. We might not be saying it. We might not be, okay, talking about it at lunch break with your coworkers, your family might not know. You might not be commenting this when you are out and about on the vast spaces of the World Wide Web, wherever you go. But you know it for yourself, and you want it, and you would love to have that. That's where the pain comes in. That's where it really starts to hurt. And this is where it starts to get very real now. I can't sugarcoat this. I'm not going to censor this. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Nothing like that. It has to be said in the way that it is happening to you, me, and all of us struggling with this right now as modern male human beings. A little bit more specifically American men, a little bit more specifically between the ages of 18 and 40 something like that. I'm not excluding all my gray kings, 50s, 60s, 70s. I believe the game is just a little bit different at that point in life. But that demographic right there, that covers just about the 3 youngest generations to date in American history. Millennials, Zoomers, Alphas. How many of us dying for that? Literally. Because it hurts. Right in here, deep in here, somewhere in here, up here. All right. For me, both. They rotate, on a daily basis, right? Maybe it's a little bit in the heart when you're communing, okay? A little bit in the head when you're showering. It haunts you. What is haunting you, bro? What you really want. And that's the gap. That's the space. That's the space that we're going to work with tonight. It's just, this is the playing field. This is your life right now. Maybe you fit the mold. If you do, you're blessed, brother. I promise you are. I don't think you'd argue with me on that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got some Patrick vibes going on from SpongeBob SquarePants, you really been under the rock for a minute. None of us, most of us, like 99.99% of us are not living like that. We are all too familiar with what's going on right now. Okay. And you and I can see so many of our brothers, more and more and more of them it's not a choice anymore. Okay. Clock the 50, clock the 60, clock the 70 a week, or don't eat. That's fine. Choose. You can choose. You can pick one. Okay. Do you want to keep driving, or do you want to be able to afford groceries? Very real. So this world that you and I have been born into has us playing this game. How in the world do you play? Okay. To a point where you're able to have what you truly want to have. I couldn't begin to imagine what you, yes, brother, you, like the one looking at me, listening to me right now, what you truly want out of life. I'm just working with my average example. I am a man that does fit that cookie cutter. I do. Oh, that'd be the bee's knees for me. Such a sweet life. One woman, the woman, okay. A conversation with her, see how many rugrats, okay, we trying to roll with, and then a home, for all of us to share. The realistic, now that I can get more practical with all that laid out, as I said, a definitive guide. You're working with the time that you have. That, at first glance, when you're looking at this, it is very easy for a man to immediately begin to despair. Because even if you're living my example, 40 hours a week, this is after you get home from work. So that's when your life begins. What is your life? I mean, I assume you're gonna want to look good. No, not vanity, and not to be narcissistic or conceited or anything like that. Just like, oh, everyone, look at me. No, you really just do want to look your best in life. I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's a good thing. You want to put your best foot forward for everything that is going to happen to you. And so that's your health. That's such a priority. You don't have that. You don't really have anything else. So with your health, then physical health, your nutritional health, your diet, okay? You have to lock these things down, and that takes time. That's most likely going to take some meal prep. You know, and I have to say, meal prep. Like meal prep is now the go-to. It's not cooking. It's not. I don't do it like that. I don't know anyone else who does it like that. No, I'm being so for real right now. Do you? Do you know anyone who is like a Gen Xer or younger and is cooking every single night? Meal prep. What do you mean? No, I just make my food when I feel hungry. I feel like you and I would look at that person like a crazy person. What are you talking about? You you prep and you cook and you do every single night? What do you do for a living? That would be my next question. Like seriously, bro, what kind of bread are you bringing in to do it like that? So I just think that's it's like it's like tragically funny. Yeah. You had to prep it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know how else I'm gonna eat nutritiously while still having time to do other things. Okay. So you gotta be willing to put up with that. And then you gotta be able to get your butt to the gym. Now, if you're super time crunched, okay, because I wanna be able to help as many men as possible that may listen to this. So I'm even gonna reach all the way to my rural kings. Yes, countryside, my countryside brothers in arms. You guys will be looking at me like, Jim, uh, I think the closest one is like 3 hours away in the inner city. Not that is no, bro. Ain't no way. Ain't no freaking way. Unless I don't know, bro. Unless you doing like some kind of RV style life, like like you know what I mean. Like your night begins when you go back to the parking lot. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not hating. I'm just saying. I don't believe that's the majority. I think the majority is if I can get to it in time, right? Before it closes, and even if it's like a 24-hour or something like that, brother, within a reasonable time frame. So, I mean, that's food, that's gym, and that's just health. This is what's so crazy. My mentor taught me this one. That is just your health, which has to be a priority because you need good, strong, robust health to sustain everything that you really want to do. Now this is post survival. That's just my lingo here at Pillars of Man for post clocking out. This is after you've clocked out, bro. Okay, and if you clocking out clean right at 5, like okay, bro, that's dope. How long did your commute take? I mean, for many, that's like another hour. So now we're looking at 6 to bedtime. We're looking at 6 to bedtime now. Okay, you meal prep. Let's freaking go. So food is like, what I'm saying, pop it in the microwave, couple minutes. Excellent. That's fire, dude. And then you're gonna give another hour to right building your body. No, it's not about the muscles. The muscles are a bonus. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, I'm 4 years deep myself as a man who has built a fair share personally. I mean, it's awesome. It's extra awesome when baby girl notices. That's like, yes, that's all our favorite part. That's like the best part. When a woman is like, you work out, you know what I'm saying? You must go to the gym. Wow. Yeah. That looks definitely keep that up. Like that's awesome. That's great. That's great. You because you always want to try and like take that and use that interaction, right? I mean, come on, we keep it real here at the Pillars of Man. You want to try to like curve that into something along the lines of, are you single? Okay, not married. You're not hiding the ring. Awesome. Situationship? No. Awesome. Like uh, history with your exes? No. Oh my god. Okay, great. You're single. Can we go? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just muscle. You know what I'm saying? You want to go like grab some coffee? You know what I'm saying? Take a little walk. Maybe we hold hands for a little bit. I can get to know you. Okay. So that's your health. And then you're gonna have to come up with what it is that you want to do for the rest of your life. Right? No biggie. But that's really what it is though. That's really what it is. Brother, we gotta close this gap. We there's you and I don't have a choice. That's why it sucks. That's why most of us don't want to do this. I mean, because you're trading a lot right there. I'm gonna rewind just a little bit, and let's just get back to the original example. When you have a man who's lucky enough, it's like breaking my heart a little bit further every single time to say it like that. You have a man who's lucky enough to be only working 40 hours a week, and then he's not going to ask for another thing in life. He's not going to ask for anything else. It's just him. It's his one bedroom part. It's his one bedroom shack. Okay. And then, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a massive surplus of money, but rent is chill. Groceries are chill. Gas is chill. Insurance is chill. Okay. Okay. Most importantly, the Wi-Fi bill is chill. Okay. Maybe Wi-Fi tied with cell phone bill. All right. A little bit extra for like, you know what I'm saying, munchies. I don't know, some video games, some rigs, some consoles. Like, what does a man do in the 21st century to stay sane? And you can live like that, and you can have all that, and you know what I'm saying? That's you, and you rocking like that, bro. Okay, cool. Cool. But what happens? I'm sure you see it clearly now. I'm sure you do, brother. The dilemma. What happens now when you want more than that? Because that's you and I, bro. We cannot hold it all. We can't have it all. We're too human. We don't have enough time, bro. We do not have enough life. So sacrifices are going to have to be made. There is a great medium of exchange that you're going to have to play with now. And so now, see, like how fast did it just, in terms of seriousness, did it just get right there? I'm going to have to give up the small semblance of joy in order for me to rest and relax after work. I'm going to have to give that up so that I can meal prep. Okay? Because if you're running on junk food, fast food, even restaurant food, unless this is, you know what I'm saying, grade A premium ingredients for this restaurant, bro, it's just, you know what I'm saying? If you young, and what is that? That'd be like 30s and down. I'm in my 30s now. I'm going to say late 20s and down, okay? Because you know what I'm saying? If you're like mid 20s and down right now, then you're not going to feel it quite yet. I'm warning you. I'm warning because this just happened to me. And you ask any man that's older than us, you ask any man in his 40s and 50s, right around like late 20s, shifting into early 30s, you're going to start feeling it. It's just not the same, bro. It's just not the same. You're not always going to be able to binge Wendy's or KFC or Taco Bell at 2 a.m. after drinking. okay, on, I don't know, on any given night, and then wake up the next day, take a dump, and you're good, and you're good to go. And you know what I'm saying? You right back at that. That doesn't quite fly. Like starting in your 30s, depending on your personal lifestyle in terms of your diet, maybe sooner. So that's why it's so real. It's necessary. This is why it's so tough. It's not much of a choice. If you're with me on that, it isn't actually a choice. Then you are going to have to trade. What are you going to have to trade, bro? What you like to do for fun, time, energy, effort? These are the costs for you to be able to um, have the best possible amounts of energy, strength, and physical exertion. You are what you eat. Then you're going to have to exercise. Fitness is fitness, movement. That's, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like if we're like just as men, if we're trying not to clock out by like 50s, 60s, you're really trying to live a little bit longer than that, then you really, I mean, not even, bro. Not even, bro. It's actually, I'm being nice. If I'm not mistaken, like actual with scientific backing, like statistically speaking, in terms of, I believe, how it happens medically, it's like 40s you're in trouble. If you really completely ignore fitness, physicality, okay? So I mean, that's a long-winded way for me to say you gotta lift, bro. You gotta lift. You gotta hit the weights. I highly recommend that's how you do it. You don't have to do it like that. You can do calisthenics. Calisthenics is dope too. Not going to be any easier. It's still a lot of grunting, still a lot of pushing, still a lot of sweating. Yeah, absolutely. And so you need that. You need these two. And then after that, how much time do you have left now? Maybe an hour or two. And this is if you're on the 40. This is if you're on the 40-hour week. You're going to have to do something with yourself that allows you to cultivate abundance, financial freedom. You're gonna have to work on skills. You're gonna have to build value for you. You need to make yourself more valuable for the world and for this planet. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That's not, I truly believe that isn't a scam for you to become more valuable, brother, because naturally speaking, you already are. See, that's the thing. You always have been. But because you have it. Make no mistake about that. That is not a doubt. Whether you do it or not, that's the doubt. Because that's up to you. Whether you actually try to go for this or not, you're trying to, give all of yourself, pour all of yourself into it, whatever you choose. That's on you, brother. But you don't ever think for a second, can I? Of course you can. This is what I mean. You've always been able to do it. For a man to take the time to search deep enough within himself what he does want to do in life. Yeah, straight up, brother. Weekends is a little bit different. Weekends are way more open. I know. Well, I mean, weekends are designated time slots on a weekly basis for like errands and chores and just stuff that needs to be done. This is the, what I'm saying, my place is looking a little, this is, my place is starting to smell a little. You gotta take care of those things. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know, and whatever else. But again, you're still gonna have way more time. And that's when a man has to get very serious. It's got to be filled with, for any business owners, entrepreneurs, self-employed listening to me right now, you're way ahead of the game. And I'm not throwing shade at any employed man. Okay. That's on wages. That's, on the clock, right? Working for a company or something like that. That's no. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just when you are your own source of income, Okay. You're trying to sell a product, you're trying to offer a service, you're trying to run something, then 40 hours doesn't exist. Can we all, you know what I'm saying? That's just the honest to God truth. It's not no freaking way. Okay. I don't say unless you were given a small loan of insert your own number. Most of us, okay, and again that's awesome. That's awesome. He got that. If you know, you know. But for most of us, that's not the case. It see our generations, okay, right now the younger generations of millennials, Zoomers, and Alphas, self self built or die, and it's not actual death. It's not that extreme. But when you are living a life that you don't want, are you still alive? That's why it hurts. That's why this is so tough, bro. And this is why you need these things in life. It's not it's not that deep, but I could go way deeper. It's like, oh, okay. Got it. Check, and check. So, okay. According to Kumo tonight, I need to prep my food, lift weights, and find purpose. Okay, got it. But I mean, for real though, this is the answer. I meant it when I said that. If you don't agree with me, that's perfectly fine. I'm so interested and curious to know why. So you let me know. But just in terms of like, brother, for you, for me, for all of our fellow kings, how do we get out? How do you get out, bro? Like, what the frick? What do we do, bro? This has to be it right here. This has to be right here. You have to put yourself first. That's how you and me we can really okay. It's not exit the game. Exit the game is like going off grid. I think that's a little bit different. I wouldn't know nothing about that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'd be out there. Is this is right? Is this the motion to start a fire? I might be doing that for a really long time to the point where I'm gonna have to call 911 and like get saved because I'm about to die. So I'm definitely so no not that kind of exit. Okay, like the game must be played in this way. In this way, you and I are trapped. Now, here's the thing. That does not mean you can't outplay. To outplay is to play the game extremely well. All my gamer kings. Like if you play League of Legends or Call of Duty or like any kind of PvP based game, anything with a ranked mode in the game, like really any basically any game that's not like a chill relaxing game. Okay, most games are you're in some kind of battle fight combat against some sort of foe. Then you know exactly what I mean by the outplay. Outplays are so satisfying. Mhm. Is that burst of just flow state, right? And skill and all the past trial and error being calculated and deduced to the perfect move that you need to execute in that moment to outplay your opponent. There is a way to do that for life. I really believe there is a way to do that for society right now, right here today. It's just, I do my best. I try so hard to keep it real here at the Pillars of Man podcast. None of us want to do it. Maybe you are right now. Why is it a struggle? Maybe you have your own reasons. I'm perfectly fine with sharing mine. You're watching me do my own personal version of trying to outplay right now. And it's such a struggle. And if you were to, and if you'd ask me, Kumo, why? Why are you doing this if you don't want to do it? Do you not enjoy this? No, that's not the issue. It is just really hard. That doesn't have to be an issue. But I'm not gonna sit here and pretend. It ain't nothing. It's chill. It's cool. We see you and me will do that in front of her. We were raised and conditioned to. You and me are gonna do that in front of the kids, of course. Of course we are. Maybe in front of each other. Maybe. That depends on the friendship. That depends on how close, etc. Whatnot. But when you're alone, it's like, bro, this is a freaking beast. This is like, oh my God. But it must be done. There is no other choice. I can't find one. I can't see one. That's what it's become. I'll end on this. The good news is that when you live like this is the only way of life where you grow the most. You give yourself the most opportunity. Your life has the most potential for amazing and wonderful things to happen. This is the life where you're going to be the proudest of yourself. This is the life where you're also going to look your best. That's a big one. That's a big one. It's not to be vain, but it is to bring out your Chad. I mean, for my older crowd, this is for you to be as presentable and as handsome and have as much swagger as possible. This is your final form. This is the only way of life where you really get to experience that. And then maybe my favorite part is that you get to self-actualize, which is just a very fancy way of saying you get to become the best version of yourself for how you choose to live. You pick. That's the thing. Now, the truth is, none of it's easy. I don't think that's possible. Like, you can try, and I tried. I was like, okay, what is like the laziest way I can do this? It just doesn't exist. You know, you want to talk about ultimate conspiracy theories that are not really conspiracy theories. They're actually just truths. We're just calling them conspiracy theories to try and like feel better about it or something like that. This has to be one of like, like in the upper echelon. This has to be like one of the okay, final bosses. Like of what's really going on. There is no easy path. The easy path does not exist. If you're on the easy path, or if someone's trying to sell you the easy path, you're probably going to have a harder time at life trying to do it like that. Are you going to make it worse? Not even going to, you know what I'm saying? Of course you could go deeper into that, but just super, super layman terms, just super simple speak. It's just not real. It's all hard. I believe most of us know this. That's why most of us are like, no. When I clock out and I go home, you leave me the frick alone. Look, that's okay. I know. It's like when I say that, it's like, why? Like, is Kumo being an enabler? Is that not contradicting everything I just said? No, I'm not trying to. I'm trying to press this as deeply as possible into you, that the choice to do this or not, the choice to try and outplay or not, will always be yours. Because that is the answer. The answer is there. It is something for you to seize and attempt every single day. But whether you do it or not, that's on you, brother. So if you don't want to do that, then you don't want to do that. It's just like, it's rough, bro. It's rough on either end. I know so many guys who are like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to live like this. I'm not gonna do that. And they're dying inside. They're not continuing. You know what I mean? They're not moving forward in their life because they don't want to. Because if they had it their way, they would just freeze everything and stay here because it's painful moving on and going into tomorrow. That's when life begins to drag you into the future. It is, you need to take the responsibility for everything that you want, and it's really hard. But I don't want you to forget, bro. If you do that, that is your best life. You don't wait anymore. It's not something to go get. You just start living it. Now, how could I say that to you when I'm literally telling you to live the most difficult existence you're ever going to witness and experience? I call it the best because that's the only one, that is the only one that will give you your best. There is no other way. I know, brother. Welcome. Welcome to the male reality in 2026. Just want you to know that I'll be here. If you're looking for another fellow on the internet doing the same, I'm with you, big dog. You do not have to do this alone. And for as long as I can conceivably envision, I'm going to keep on talking about all this stuff. That's what I do here. This is the Pillars of Man podcast. I'm your host, Kumo, and I like to talk a little bit about everything and anything that goes into God, anime, movies, love, and bodybuilding, all aimed at helping any man become the very best version of himself. Brother, I thank you so much for being here, vibing with me, checking this out, all that good stuff. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button for me. Follow me. You're on Spotify, shoot me a follow wherever you find this. Give me a follow because I'd love to see you back here for the next one. But until then, take it easy. Take good care of yourself. And I love you so much. Peace.